Hi, everybody. So, the message that I'm going to give you today is a bit of a recap of a longer video that I did on my Patreon yesterday, talking about the guideposts moving into Ascension. Basically, the channeled message that came through was that there will be individuals moving into the Ascension point that hit that Ascension level of consciousness before other individuals do. So, there will be those that have evolved into this new level of consciousness and are then anchoring it in for the rest of the collective before that the entire collective shifts into that higher vibrational frequency altogether. And so there are some guideposts that we're going to find or we're going to see or notice on the way, and you might be noticing these things already in your life. So the first guidepost was potentially noticing yourself vibrating out of certain situations. So this can be friend groups, this can be work environments, this can be physical environments. You might find yourself moving. This is tying into one of the topics that has been coming through recently as well, which is where soul family is going to begin to find one another to be able to kind of create these new communities and be able to collaborate in a community collective based way. And so that's going to be part of that. But how that happens is potentially leaving situations that aren't in alignment, that aren't at that vibrational frequency. We do have to clear the space for us to be moving toward soul familial type relationships or environments. And so that potentially requires taking a leap of faith of some kind and following the intuitive nudgings, or at least acknowledging the discomfort and acknowledging the lack of alignment and trying to find, or at least be open to, the pathway forward that does feel in alignment. Number two is you may find yourself just not able to make unaligned decisions anymore. Basically, when we move into the ascension point, we no longer, it's not that we don't have the ability to make unaligned choices, but it would just be so uncomfortable and so oppositionally resonant with our connection to our internal understanding of who we are at that point and that level of consciousness that we just wouldn't make those unaligned choices anymore. And so you might notice it moving forward, becoming harder and harder and harder to allow yourself to stay in those situations, but then continue to make those unaligned choices moving forward. And then the third guidepost is beginning to make decisions from the understanding that you are part of the whole rather than just an individual and just an individual consciousness. So beginning to really kind of feel into the way that you can be of service, making decisions for the good of community, for the good of the whole, rather than making decisions for yourself or what is going to propel you forward the most. It becomes much more collaborative, and this is due to your own individual raise in consciousness where you're beginning to evolve into the place where you have that embodied knowing of yourself as a manifestation of source consciousness, which means that you are a drop of the whole and there is really no separation between anybody. So those are the three guideposts, and that's what we'll be seeing more and more as we're moving further along on this journey toward ascension, and eventually we will all be moving into this pathway together.